My name is Tal Buchnik and I graduated from the Cordon Bleu Australia in 2015 with a Certificate 3 in Commercial Cookery. I work for the Merivale group and I'm a venues head chef for Bird's Bar and Brasserie in Newport and also the local restaurants in the city. Bird's Bar and Brasserie is one of our flagship restaurants in the group. It's located in Newport in Sydney's northern beaches. The cuisine is coastal European and the dining room is inspired by the Grand Hotels from the 1930s. I'm originally from a small town in Israel. I started cooking when I was about 13 years old. It was a local street food shop in Israel where I grew up. I started by washing dishes and prepping vegetables and then eventually moved into cooking. I worked there till I was about 18 years old and then I went to the army and did a year and a half in the Israeli military. Then when I got out of the army, I basically went straight into kitchens and I started working in this big Italian restaurant in Tel Aviv. As a kid, I always loved being around my grandmas in the kitchen and cooking for my family. But I feel like this was in this restaurant in Tel Aviv where I really found out that that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I really wanted to go and study at Le Cordon Bleu and take it to the next step because it had a great reputation, still does have a great reputation, and it allows for a great pathway into the industry. And of course, it's in Australia, which is a country I always wanted to visit. I had a relative that lived here a couple of years ago and told me it's absolutely beautiful, so I thought I'll check it out for myself. The Commercial Cookery program was a fantastic way to get into the industry. The teachers that were teaching us were actually really patient and professional, and that gave us a really good foundation to getting into that industry. The industry placement really gives you that pathway into the industry, and that's actually how I got my first job with Merivale. I started working at amidst at the time. It was in 2015, and fast forward a couple of years later, I'm here running a few of our restaurants. So really is a great platform. Merivale is a family-owned business with about 90 hospitality venues. My position as a head chef at Merivale includes everything from the day-to-day operation to the creativity aspect of it and giving the direction on our menus. It also includes the responsibility on our financial aspects and of course mentoring and guiding the teams around me, and that obviously includes the Cordon Bleu students that come and do their industry placements. So we try and really bring them in and mentor them, and sometimes they stay with us for a bit longer too, which is great. My favorite thing about starting at Le Cordon Bleu was by far the people, and it was the friends that I was lucky enough to make at a time, and they're lifelong friends of mine until now. I was fortunate enough to travel through the world and go and meet some of those people that I've studied with in their hometowns and meet their families and eat their family food and sit with them for family dinners. So it was definitely the people. My advice for those thinking of studying at Le Cordon Bleu is to definitely just go for it. It's a bit scary and you're moving into another country and you might not have a lot of experience, but like I said, and some of those tools that I mentioned before really are going to give you the tools that you need to get into that industry. And it's a lot of hard work, but it's definitely worth a chance.